Thank you very much for your wonderful presentations. Now, I would like to question and answer session briefly. So, I would like to invite all speakers onto the podium. Yes, for taking questions from participants. Could you please give them a warm welcome with a round of applause? Thank you very much. Now we'll have a question and answer sessions. All the questions can be posed both in English and in Korean. So please feel free to raise your hand if you have any questions to our speakers. While preparing your questions from the floor, now I would like to first introduce the first question, which goes to Ms. Salmaya Lahayu Saleh. I will read the question for you. Okay. First of all, this is the question from Boram Kim from KMI, Korean Maritime Institute. Thank you for the presentation of Ms. Salmaya Lahayu. Despite the importance of diversity, it is true that the proportion of women in the maritime sector is not high. In particular, I think prejudice has a bigger problem if women working on ships with a small number of personnel fail to fulfill their responsibilities due to inevitable physical limitations. What policies do you think are needed to increase the proportion of women in the maritime sector? I believe this question also can go to the Melia Tualau, who has insightfulness on this. Okay, first. Thank you.
Thank you for that very interesting question. So it is true. Well, it is true that working in the maritime sector is predominantly male, but things are shifting and things are changing with due to women now more excited to enter into the workforce, and although it starts with mindset. Women traditionally did not choose to work in the maritime sector because, as the question earlier indicated, that because it is labor intensive or it poses physical limitations to women. But things are changing. We have new technologies where not only which can be operated by women, and also what's most important is that to change the mindset that women can contribute, can highly contribute to the maritime sector. And as far as policy goes, we do need policies and strategies to be implemented in order for us to welcome more women in the maritime sector. But so it comes from us who are already in this sector to make sure that these policies are developed and implemented well. And it is up to us who are already in this sector to amplify our voices, to show women out there who are interested to be in this to work in this sector, what benefits it can bring to them, to their livelihoods, and what contributions that they can bring to the maritime sector to improve not just safety, but also the environment, to improve how we communicate with each other. And sometimes women, they have more attention to detail, so maybe they can help to improve the processes within the maritime sector. And The policies at the moment, they are constantly being developed. Like I mentioned in my presentation earlier, IMO is advocating for more women participation in the maritime sector. They even took one day to celebrate women's achievements in the maritime sector. And the International Labour Organization, through the MLC, have also implemented policies to ensure that women are protected from sexual harassment cases. And in many sectors, not just in the maritime sectors, at least I can speak for Brunei, women who have families or intend to have families, they are given 105 days of maternity leave. So they're given these benefits to ensure that when they enter the workforce, when they return to the workforce, that they are emotionally and physically ready. And also, it also starts with education. We have to start advocating for women to come into this workforce when they are still young, so through education. And we need to expose them to the benefits to the importance of shipping or of maritime and where they can fit in the maritime sector. And once they are in the maritime sector, so we need to implement policies of continuous training, especially with the changes in continuous innovation in technology, and also as we are more interconnected, how we interact with each other of different nationalities, of different culture. So this can pave the way of how we can seamlessly enter into the workforce. And as for the employers themselves, they need to create an environment where women can be given opportunities to rise through the ranks, and this will entice more women to be interested to work in the maritime sector, so they will not feel as if they are discriminated against or that there's a prejudice against them. So we need to amplify our voices. It starts from us who are already in the maritime sector. It is up to us to make sure that we provide a conducive environment for women to enter into the sector. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your comments. Okay, Ms. Melia Tualo, do you have any additions on her comment and on this question?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just to adding on to what Salama has mentioned with regards to women, we all know that, yeah, of course, maritime is a male-dominated field, but in terms of gender equality, where the United Nations targeted is, we need to empower women in the maritime sector. This is not to be a seafarer, but then we have other areas within the maritime sector that the women can be able to work and support men in this field. So in terms of the Pacific, I'm the chairperson for the Pacific Women in Maritime Association. We have a regional strategy in place that we need to have to empower, to promote the women in the maritime sector, because we know how difficult it is for women to be a seafarer. So we promote our women to other area within the sector. For example, we have the Maritime Administration, we have the Maritime Institution, we have our ports authority, our shipping companies. There are various areas where women can be able to work, but then contributing to maritime sector. And we feel that the presence of women is very beneficial to help the men in order to promote maritime safety, maritime security, and all the IMO requirements. We know right now that there are many women right now leading the maritime sector, especially like, for example, us in the Pacific. We have, I think, 4 women that are leading the maritime administration within our Pacific Islands. So we see how women tend to focus their mindset for the maritime sector in terms of their training. Women can be able to partake higher level of training, and of course they we are here to help. We are not here to overtake or overrule the men's work, but then women and men can be teamwork in order for us to strengthen in the maritime sector. Yeah, so thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for the comments. Okay, now I'd like to invite questions from the floor. If you have any questions, you can ask in Korean and in English. So feel free to use your language. Yes, please. So is there any participant who want to raise questions for the presentation? Yes, please.
Morning, Captain Perez from Chile. For all the panel, but especially for Mrs. Almaya and our Mrs. Melanie. Regarding to what you have spoken about the policies of the government on board, in our experience, we have noticed that the young officers or young people, or women, are on board till 30, 35 years old until they want to have a family. I know you have told that they are working on have 105 days, but I mean, do you have any specific policy to to make more flexible their career in order to not only have young officers, young seafarers, I mean to have a captain, to have a high rank on board, to be compromised or to be flexible, to compatibilize their family and their role as a captain or as a boss on board the ships.
Okay.
Thank you for that question. I'll try to answer your question. Yeah, I'm not quite familiar with the scenario. It is how it is for seafarers working on a vessel, but I can relate to our national carrier. So they are given this. They are not discriminated against taking the maternity leave, which has been mandated by the government, but at the same time as to not make them feel as if they are missing out on the work, on the opportunity to climb the ranks while they are away looking after a newborn. So the shipping companies will need to create a conducive environment, and also through providing training, giving them opportunities for training, and then training to make sure that they did not miss out so much while they were away. And it's also pertinent for the shipping company side to think about the career development of women rather than thinking about, so you have missed so many weeks, so many months, but to find ways on how to close that gap, to address that gap. So instead of being too stringent about, okay, you should have been, your seat time, you missed out on this number of this length of seat time, so you might not be qualified for promotion, or you're not qualified to sit for an exam for the next promotion. So it is important to recognize this gap, where you can, where shipping companies especially can provide a scenario where they can still have the opportunities to contribute and not be prejudiced for taking some time off. I'm not sure if I answer your question correctly. Yeah, but on the regulator side, which is the Maritime and Port Authority, so shipping companies need to come to us, and we come to them as well, and to work together on how we can promote and support shipping companies so that they do not feel at a disadvantage for hiring women as seafarers. So that's a valid situation, that's a valid concern as well on the shipping company side. So if we have an open dialogue, a communication together, so we can find ways to address this. So we don't want the shipping companies to be at a disadvantage, but also we want to promote and support women's involvement or contribution in the maritime sector at the same time, without making them feel that they are less than their male counterparts. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Due to the time constraints and for your delicious meal prepared outside, so I now invite one more questions. Okay, please.
First of all, thank you for your presentation today. My question, first of all, my name is Chan Kim. I'm an instructor of the International Cooperation Team at KIMFT. So my question is to Madame Maliame, that I heard in Papua New Guinea and Fiji and Vanuatu provide Class 1 and Class 3 training for master and engine department. And I'm currently in charge of the Global OMBO training program. And this year we invited 10 countries, which is including Fiji this year, inviting 3 cadets. And we were trying to invite other countries too, which is including Papua New Guinea or Vanuatu, but we couldn't have much network or connection. So my question is there any human network established in the maritime administration sector? And we would like to know which maritime training institute there is, and also which maritime training institute is the leading institute among them. Thank you.
For your questions, yeah, I believe they have main contact within the Papua New Guinea Maritime Institution, same as Fiji and Vanuatu. They have their own main contact, so I can connect to them. If you want me to find out who's the leading person within the institution, and I can connect to them. But then they do have a main person to contact of point.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we are ending our first session, navigating towards maritime safety, empowering the human element for enriched diversity and inclusion. We have discussed a lot of things, of course, for the safety issues and the crew fatigue, and also shipboard cultures, and for enhancing safety and teamwork. It's a really new concept for me to making a strong teamwork between organization at international and regional and local level. So please keep in mind the messages from our presenters. And now let's conclude session 1. Thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you everyone, and please give them another round of applause to our speakers and the chair. Okay, with that, we are concluding section 1. So lunch is now available in the lobby area just outside the hall. For our distinguished guests, the VIP table has been prepared near the entrance at the front. We encourage you to enjoy your meal and take some time to enjoy. As we are quite delayed to our original schedule, we kindly request your punctual return to your seats by 1:40 p.m. as we have an exciting lineup of sections waiting for you in the afternoon. Bon appétit, and we look forward to seeing you all back for the next section of our forum. Thank you.